We're now going to do revision 1 practice and see how we get on with it. And this covers everything that we've done so far in class. So open up Excel Class 2, which I've already done so, and go to Smiths Electrical, again, which I've also done so. So we now need to add a profit column. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add in a profit column. Okay, so that's grand. And this is going to be calculated at 30% of the cost of the item. So place the 30% directly underneath the heading profit. So I'm going to put 30% in right there. Now ensure you use absolute referencing when completing this formula that's coming on forwards. So what we're doing here is we're going to add, beg your pardon, I need to go back to this one. Add a profit column. Profit is calculated at 30% of the cost price. Place it directly beneath it. So the profit is going to be 30% of whatever the cost price is. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say this is equal to whatever the cost price is multiplied by the percentage I want. So I need to know the percentage. This percentage area is not going to change, so I'm going to F4 to make that absolute and enter. I'm then going to get on that cell, get my black copy cross and go all the way down. So all of this is done for me. I am going to make this into 2 decimal places, and to do that quickly and easily, I'm going to use the comma. And what the comma will do automatically to numbers, it'll automatically put 1,000 comma in as well as 2 decimal places. You can change it thereafter if you wish, but that's what it will do. So I'm hitting the comma and that's what I get. So I get some sort of consistency in my numbers. Add a retail price. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put in retail price and enter. Now again, you can see this is going over, so you can do what we did last week. We're going to click on here and we're going to say wrap the text around. Brilliant. So it's staying within the column. So the retail price is simply the cost price plus the profit. So it's just these two added together. So we've got 2 choices here. Choice number 1, we can just simply say C5 plus D5. We can do that, or we can do the sum. I think the sum is a better option, so that's what I'm going to do. So equals sum, open up the bracket. I want these 2 to be in the array. Close the bracket and enter. Go back on top of the retail price for camcorder, get my black cross all the way down, and again it's done. And again, to make this somewhat the same continuity as profit, I'm going to click on the comma symbol to give me that particular look, because I think it's the one that we'll use. I have to admit, this is the one I use over and over and over again, more than anything when I'm actually looking at especially money. Okay, so all that is done, and again I need to change this also into the same format. So I'm going to come here and again click on this. So I'm going to keep all of my monetary columns in this manner. So I'm going to come over here now and I'm going to put in a total retail column. So total retail. And again, it's intelligent enough, it's picking up from the previous one what it wants to look like. So what's going on here is the retail column. So that is the retail price, which is this one, all right, multiplied by how many we have, which is this one. So it's this multiplied by this will equal in here. So placing it where I want the answer to be, I'm going to say this is equal to the retail price multiplied by how many of them we have in stock. Enter. And again, we're going to get hashes here. Now this is great, I'm glad this has happened. Hashes simply mean that you can't see the number. It doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. It doesn't mean that something's gone crazy. It means there isn't enough space in column F to show you the whole number. And if Excel cannot show you the whole number, it'll show you nothing. So all we need to do is come up between the F and the G, get our widening arrow, click and hold, bring it out little by little until we have what we want. So I might just go a little bit further out. And there we see it. So remember, the hash symbols doesn't mean anything's gone wrong. It just simply means that I cannot see the number. So I'm going to click on top of that. I'm going to get my black copy cross and go all the way down, and it's all done. And you can see the beauty of the comma now from this one, putting in the commas for the thousands and automatically 2 decimal places at all times. Okay, ensure the entries in column B are centrally aligned. So I'm going to highlight B like so and make sure that they're in the center. Ensure that the entries in C to F, which is here to here, are aligned to the right. So I'm going to highlight C to F and I'm going to make sure that they are aligned to the right. Enter my name in a central position as a header on the worksheet. Enter today's date in a central position as the footer for the worksheet. So I'm going to come over to Insert. I'm going to click on this symbol here, the text. It may be visible, it may not be visible to you, the headers and footers. It really depends on the width of your actual laptop. In this instance, I've narrowed mine slightly, so I'm now getting the A for text, and I'm going to go to headers and footers. When I'm in there, I've been told to put my name in a central position, so I'm actually in the center, so I'll actually put my name in there, and I've been told to put today's date in the central position as the footer. So I need to go to the footer, which is here, and down in the footer I need to put today's date in. I don't type it in unless I want it to be this date every time I print this out. So I'm going to say give me the current date in this instance, please. And that's all I want that for. I'm now going to just come out of the headers and footers. Again, sometimes it's quite difficult up here to find that. So what I tend to always use, I always use this one down here, always. Clicking on that, that'll bring me straight out and back up to the top again. Okay, so with that done, it says now format this for presentation to your manager. And again, we don't have to do too much with this, I don't think, but I'm going to do something small with it. So I'm going to highlight all the headings. I'm going to bold them, first of all. And I'm going to put a small, it's not kind of a slight shade of blue there, I think. That's it. I've decided, because I've got the space, I'm going to highlight from row 5 down to row 16. I'm going to get my 2-way arrow and ever so gently, and I mean gently, pull it apart so it doesn't look so close, and I think it sits better. And the final thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight from A1 across to F1, and I'm going to tell it to merge and center this heading. I'm going to increase the size of the heading, and I'm going to ask for it to be bolded so it stands out. I'm also going to go into the color area, and I'm going to pick a slightly deeper blue to help with that. Maybe that's a bit too deep. And there we go, and click off. And I think really what I might do is I could actually now eliminate this row here, because I think it would be better. So I'm going to simply highlight that row. I'm going to go to delete, and I'm going to say delete this row. And click down here to see what it looks like. And yeah, I think that looks much better and makes far more sense. And finally, Mr. Smith has decided to hold a sale. The profit will now be 20% of the cost price. Please amend. So basically all you now have to do is click, and again this is the beauty of creating functions formulas of where and not what. I'm simply going to go up to where the 30% is, change that to 20%, and please watch all the columns now. As I press enter, they all change accordingly, because I never at any stage said use 30%. What I said was use what's in cell D3. Again, going back to where, not what philosophy. And the final thing here is please change the worksheet tab to reduction. So I need to come down here where it says Smith's Electrical, double click on this and call this reduction, and then click away. And that brings us to the end of revision 1 practice.